yeah. Feeling like a dynamite, ready to explode right up in the sky. I need you to listen, I need you to hear, and don't show any fear.
Hello, good evening. Bear with me a minute, peeps. YouTube is playing in my ear, and I don't want to listen to myself. Welcome, hello, good evening. On what is I don't know. It's been a semi all right day. The workshop's nice and clean, ready for after this. When Rich is going to be invading me. What are we doing tonight? And firstly, worms. Let's bring the worms in. So, looking after us this evening, and having a chuckle, as always, we have the Wood Jedi himself, Mr. Wayne Woodturner.
Good evening.
And I don't know, that scrollery, jokery, skullduggery,
fat bloke
maple tree. Yeah,
because I'm going to deserve it after the next couple of wisecracks. So, have you organised some lube for your invasion later on? I mean, Rich is quite brutal.
I've got spray PTFE, mate.
Oh, there we go. The other thing that I noticed before you brought us in, there you were standing to attention. I thought that has got to be the shortest guardsman in the world. What he needs is a beefeater hat, not a beefeater hat, one of the Busbies on top of his head when he's standing. Attention. Sorry, it's been a long day.
That's right. That's what these lives are about. Right, let's put your charge back in the background. Yeah, these lives are all about having a laugh, doing a bit of turning, and having a bit of fun. So this evening is going to be the first of a two-part. I'm only going to be going for an hour, as I said, because I'm in with Rich. Rich is invading me after this. It's an invasion with a difference. We're going to be talking about things that have happened, and yeah, no hards barred, benefits. So hopefully from my mistakes, other people will learn some lessons.
Comedy gold. You're getting invaded and no holes barred. I mean, come on.
This could get very painful.
So the other day when I was sorting out the workshop, I found a bucket load of marbles.
Scott's finally found his marbles, people, after losing them for a great many years.
My wife said I lost my marbles ages ago, but I found them. So I thought, let's do something different and let's make a solitaire board. So on the lathe, we have a really wobbly. Well, it's not so bad now because I've. What do we want? That one? No, that's not a lathe. That's a scroll.
No, don't that one.
There we go. So I don't know how well you can see how out this is, but it's really. This side's now flat, but this side's just still like a banana. So we're going to start off, we're going to get that round and straight. So this week we're just going to do the board, the back, get the shape, and then next week we'll look at putting the holes in, the game shape and stuff like that for the marbles. So while I start getting this, do you guys want to let me know who's in?
Yeah, okay, I'll let you know who's in. We have Circular Case by Wood, Dave's Created Metalwork Mute, Douglas Mungham, Eric Winkler, Gerard the French Turner, John N, Malcolm Douglas, Nick Castle, Peter Corrigan, Robert Dolman, some character called the Bluelight Tumbler, Tony Smith, Wivey Woodshed, Robert Dolman, who I may have said earlier, Wood Wizardry by Colin, Woodturning by Barry, and probably one or two other folks just dropping in as I've done. Peter Kelly says hi to everyone too.
Hello.
Mark the Gentleman Woodturner's just come in. Peter Kelly's just come in.
Need to say a belated happy birthday to Dave for yesterday.
Dave!
Alan. Ian Leonard's just come in.
Hi, Ian.
So, folks, rather than me do my usual speech, which I'll do in a minute, I want you to notice the bandage on Scott's arm. Scott is possibly, as far as we can tell, and I've asked Wayne, who knows these things, Scott is possibly the first human being on the history of the planet to manage to burn himself on his Robert Sorby Pro Edge. This is quite a break for tradition from young Scott, because normally he falls down. So the blue light tumbler is now called the blue light burner.
I was thinking of Barry, that's what it was.
Barry! Barry! Barry!
No. I learned a lesson.
One says, "Hi Peter, Ian L, Mark the Tutu." That may stick, Douglas. That's a good one. I quite like that.
Yes, I learned a lesson. I won't do it again.
No. Always take the gouge out of the jig.
Do you know anyone in, it might have no first aid that could have helped with that? Maybe someone who's worked for the emergency service.
I did sort myself out. I went in and the wife went, "What have you done this time?"
Yeah, you did. I did a burnie. Well. John N says, "Mark the Tutu."
Mark
With
the
Barry,
Tutu.
what? Sorry, wrong Barry. What? A wick. You have 29 watching, young Scott.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Gerard the French Turner says, and I was thinking the same thing. The camera angle looks like it's upside down.
I don't know. I'm going to change.
It's because you're on the front of the machine rather than from behind. It's
Yeah, we're going to change camera angle anyway now. We're going to go to... Yep, on.
Ben Jamison?
Hi, Ben.
Has anyone turned the Captain America shield?
Dale. It's on the list for later on. I think I've got it down for July time on my list.
I'm sure somebody has.
Yeah. Yeah, July time I've what I've done is with all my lives is I've planned what I'm going to do in advance.
Oh, have you?
So, yeah.
Where's the fun in that?
I know. So as you can see, I've already faced this edge off. As I said, it was really wonky. So all we need to do on the bottom at the moment is just put in the recess. And I'm going to tidy up as I go tonight. So then I haven't got loads of tidying up to do. Before the invasion.
Remember, people, that if you really like what Scott's doing, hit that like button. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. And rather than ring that bell, what to do is quickly send Scott some ice cubes so he can recover from being invaded by Rich.
Joe Senior's just come in. Evening, Joe.
Evening, Joe.
Hello,
that's already been planned. I have come out here to do a live and left my daughter with my bottle of Jack Daniels.
Of course, the other thing to do is to get him one of those little blow-up cushions so he can sit down comfy afterwards.
No, whatever you do, don't let Scott sit down in that workshop.
Why?
No.
The snoring is absolutely horrendous, believe me.
Scott, the blue light snorer. Scott fell asleep in a hangout quite recently, maybe as recently as last night. While he was there, we were talking away, and then we heard a sound which we actually thought may have been the 5th Armoured Division doing manoeuvres in his workshop. All we heard was...
I'll take the 5th Armoured Division. My old crewmate said I used to sound like Jurassic Park.
Well, where I was going to go is I was desperately trying to think of characters from Pigs in Space. That's where I was, because I couldn't think of any of them, kind of thing. Apart from Miss Piggy, and I felt that wasn't fair, Miss Piggy.
Ooh.
What with her having taste in dresses?
Do you know I ain't got taste in dresses, eh?
All the photographs you've posted. Hashtag no chairs allowed in the workshop, says Peter Kelly. Oh, I don't know, but I think actually I'm going to go with it. Yes, no chairs allowed in the workshop, only stools. That way, if you fall asleep, you fall off and wake yourself up, as is the way of things.
So that recess is big enough. What I'm going to do is I'm going to... I've got branding on that I bought ages ago from Nathan at Ramsdale Sherman.
Right. How thick is the stem on the Brandon iron?
About 10 mil.
Would it fit in your chuck? In
If
your
I could-
Jacob's chuck?
Yeah, if I can get the handle off it, it will.
Yeah. So the best thing to do is actually stick it in your Jacob's chuck, put it in the tailstock, and that way you get it centralised every time.
Ooh.
Good afternoon, Brent.
I was going to say good afternoon, Brent, but the point is there is what I was actually going to say is that's a really good idea.
It is a really good idea. What I normally do is take the bit off, put it on the floor, and then lean on it.
Douglas Mungham's asking, was your snoring as bad as Homer Simpson? What do you think, Will?
Possibly. I don't think it was quite as bad as Glyn, though.
Not as bad as Mr. Yorkshire Get himself.
Right.
Brian at Hartwood Tillins in.
Hi, Brian. So that's all we're going to do on the bottom, apart from now, give it a quick sand, some Yorkshire grit, and because it's going to be a game, I'm going to use microcrystalline wax, because obviously it's going to be handled quite a bit. I need to get a new 3-inch arbor.
Why?
Because the Velcro's knackered on it.
So just get a new pad.
Yeah, this got no. This is just like the whole. So it's this Velcro bit. Either that or put another bit of Velcro on it.
Douglas Mungham's asking Sealer. Folks, if you want to ask Scott a question, remember, prefix this question with nee, no, nee, no. Or, if you're feeling really inventive, hashtag stop that man.
So that was 120. And I said, because we're going to Yorkshire grit it, we're only going to go up to 240.
Is the extraction on? Because it looks awfully dusty for you.
The extractor's on. The little one. Big one is now.
Question. How do you write this deal? How do I write what, Gerard? And Douglas is saying Nino, Sealer. Obviously, that's a question.
Yes. Loving the bit of grain in this wood.
I think that's to answer your question, Gerard. You have 32 watching.
Thank you very much. So we're going to use, as I always do, chestnuts. This one's a cellulose sand sealer, but the spray one.
Oh, Gerard's asking, how do you write Nino?
I think Douglas has answered that one by accident.
Yeah.
Well, the grain looks really good from here.
Stunning, isn't it?
Yeah, very nice piece of ash.
Like falling off your stool when you're falling asleep in your workshop. Stunning. John Scarborough's in. Hi, John.
Hi, John. So I'll give that a minute or two just to just to dry off.
Gerard is saying, Nino, Sealer, is this the bottom part of the
This
piece?
this is the bottom part. And then we'll turn it around, square off the face on there, and then we'll start putting some shape to it. So, hang on. Are you ready, Dale?
Okay, go on then. Let's have it. Oh yeah.
I was waiting for the singing.
Oh, that costs extra. Hands that feel pity can be soft as your face with light brown Yorkshire gritty. That'll be 63 pence plus dispensations.
How about 10 Jaffa cakes?
That'll work. That's actually more money. That's like including the tip and everything.
Gerard is asking a question. Nino. No shape, flat on the table. Yes, it is going to sit flat on the table because it's a solitaire game.
Yeah. So you can't really see it. It has got a slight dip on it just in case you get an uneven surface. But a very slight dip. Now, watching Brian at lunchtime, I learned something. The fact
And then he's actually Scottish.
Yeah. Also, that when you're putting the Yorkshire grit on, obviously you sealer first, then you put it on with the lathe stopped. And I knew about the same piece of cloth, but what I didn't know was about using it for 3 minutes.
Yes, turn it at the lowest speed you can, and the initial time is between 2 and 3 minutes for the initial process, and then you up the speed and use a clean piece of paper, and you keep on doing that until the paper comes away clean.
So, there we go,
This is
guys.
also good advice in other situations.
I must start getting my patter right for Harrogate.
Yep. So I've got a vision of you being a kind of Q. You know, I mean, what's the shopping channel called?
QVC.
Oh yeah, QVC.
QVC. That's it. Tommy's Workshop says that looks like a very nice piece of timber. And Douglas Mungham goes on to say, Nino, did Scott call the Bluelight boys for the healthcare?
No.
Benjamin's asking Gerard, guess what I'm eating? A lovely bit of well done steak.
Well done steak. You've just ruined it then.
Oh, it's gotta be
right. Gerard has said his low speed is 500 RPM. If that's the lowest speed you've got, Gerard, that's all you can use.
Yeah, this is what this one is.
Peter Kelly sings. Oops, sorry, go on, mate.
I was just going to say Doug Miller's in.
Hi, Doug.
I was going to say Peter Kelly is obviously trying to mix metaphors here. He says he's got a nice glass of he's got a nice Jameson's in a glass.
Tommy's Workshop's in. I don't know if we mentioned him.
We got him earlier, I think, but that's all good.
All right, okay.
Hi, Tommy.
So depending on how long the live takes and the invade, depends on how much Jack Daniels I will get this evening.
All right. What is it? Shorter it is, the more you get.
No, I've left my daughter with her girlfriend and my bottle of Jack Daniels.
None is the answer. None.
That was a wrong move.
None.
Yeah.
None. If you're watching Twin, none.
That's right. If that don't work, I've got a bottle of Disaronno indoors.
37 watching Scott. Folks, if you like what Scott's doing, or you feel sorry for him having to put up with us, please hit the like button, hit subscribe, and give that notification bell a ring. Scott also works long shifts, and he's doing up his workshop, so if you like what he's doing, feel free to buy him a coffee by hitting the link at the top of the chat.
Yes. Costa's had quite a bit of money out of me this week in coffee.
You think there'd be a loyalty card or a discount for buying them? Folks, also, the link I'm pasting in the chat is for Richard the Beard 16's channel. It's a direct link to the Beard Invades that Scott's on tonight. Should be a good show. Scott's taking you through his experiences of being a YouTuber and the changes to his workshop.
Yeah, Costa did Tuesday, Wednesday, and today. All their drinks were 50p. And we thought it was one go until we got to the shop and realised you could have up to 5 in a day. I didn't sleep much last night.
So, Wood Wizardry by Colin is asking, is it normal JD or JD honey?
It's the JD Sour Mash.
That's the original.
That was
Isn't
brought
it?
for my birthday. As you can see, cloth's now clean, so the grit's done its job. I can't find a can spanner, so as I said, I'm just going to use the chestnuts microcrystalline. Other microcrystallines are available and can be used.
Time check for you, Scott. That's 10 to 8.
Cheers, mate. What I'll have to do is when I come to use the branding iron as well, is just run some methylated spirits.
I'm suspicious of this branding iron appearance. I'm wondering, Wayne, if he actually burnt himself with the branding iron on the arm and it wasn't the Robert Sorby at all.
A bit like Rich did with his. Burned himself a tattoo on his arm.
Nah, I'm not that stupid. That alert. I don't do pain.
Said the man who burnt himself in the Robert Sorby. Die proud, Sam. Hi, Billy.
Well, Rich didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah, I normally use it and shove it straight outside and let it cool. What I have got to do is get a new.
That's what she said.
What I have got to do is get a new Caligas cylinder for it, for the blowtorch.
I need to make a clamp rack this weekend. So
Gerard has said he tried some friction polish as a finish on 2 pens today after using Yorkshire grit, and it's the best finish he's achieved so far. Nice one, Gerard.
Cool.
There's Creative Metalworks in.
Mr. Mewett, how are we? So Dave and I are teaming up with Wendy for the free makers for the free forces. So there's going to be some metalwork, some woodwork, and some resin, which should be quite interesting. All right.
Does that cost you £10.50? That blank.
It didn't.
£10.50. I see.
As I was saying, we had, until he passed away, unfortunately, there was a guy at club that used to do all our wood, and they'd put prices on all his wood, and then you'd go up to him and go, Gil, how much for that lot? And he'd give you a price that weren't even the cost of one of them. Really nice man.
Hi,
David. Good evening, David.
Oh, yeah? Right. How wonky is this?
Very.
Yeah, look at that. Alright, so let's make sure.
Are you going to have to take that all the way down to get rid of the screw holes?
Yeah, but what I did, Wayne, is I used loads of little screws.
All right.
So I think the time I've got some of this wonk out, I'll get most of them out as well. So.
Dore 60s in?
Good evening.
I'm trying to move that in so I can get there.
Apparently, oh dear God, deal. Oh my, what have I done?
What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with some pull cuts just to try and get some of this off. So this is the offending article from earlier on.
You have 43 watching, young Scott.
Fantastic.
Folks, remember, if you like what Scott's doing, hit that like button and give that subscribe button a bit of a clatter. And if you really like what he's doing, give that notification bell a ring. That'll tell the YouTube algorithm that you like Scott's content, you like Woodturning content. I'll make sure it recommends his content and others like it in the future. So go on.
And Rich the Beard has just come in.
Oh, you're rich.
John N. Does Scott's mankini count as a dress? Said John. An interesting philosophical point.
Everyone keeps on about my mankini. Mr. Mewett has a lot to answer for.
Mr. Mewett. Yeah, Mr. Mewett, you provided us with absolutely months worth of amusement. Please keep it up.
Don't give him encouragement. He don't need it.
Do it, Dave. Dave, do it. Do it, Dave. Oh heck! All hail the Wood Jedi. Oh hello. I've got this piece of sleeper, not Railway's one, not impregnated. It is very dark and very heavy. Would it be rosewood? That is what the guy thinks it is.
I would say it's probably Jarrah, which is JARRAH. I would think that's a lot of sleepers and dock sidings that we used in this country when everything was getting built was all imported Jarrah from Australia, and none of it was treated.
That's really hard wood, isn't it?
Oh, it is exceptionally hard.
Yeah. I have, lurking in the shed next door, a piece of Jarrah burr, but I don't know what to turn with it. So, hence why I've not touched it yet.
Can I spell it again? JARRAH, Jarrah.
Stuart and Grully is in the chat.
Good evening, Stuart.
Oh yeah?
David says, David created metalwork. Mr. Mewett says, I could tell you a few stories about Scott.
And Doug Miller has just hit 1,000 followers on Insta today.
Fantastic.
Cool, Doug, cool. You think you came for the beard, Doug? Hashtag just saying.
I've gained, I don't know why, I think I've gained about 6 subs so far today.
Cool.
Before anything, which is fantastic.
Quietly promoted.
And I'm not that far off 500 now. So when I hit 500, we're going to do a giveaway. A piece of my work, and then I'm going to get some products, and we'll make a nice little bundle. So we've just got the ends of the screws there. Now we were having a bet last night in a hangout how thick this would end up because of how warped it was.
Proud says, we've hit the doldrums, I think. I need a kick up the bum or help. Either. Both. The John N says, Neenor, does Scott's mankini count as a dress? I don't think we got to the answer. I think we have to ask everyone out in the chat. Folks, do you think a mankini counts as a dress? and we'll let them come back to us with that one. You have 46 watching, sir.
Fantastic. Thank you, everyone.
And it's just turned 8 o'clock.
So now Mark's done his tutu. Does that mean I've got to turn in a mankini?
Mate, if we thought you could go turn in a mankini, I would personally not watch YouTube for a week.
I certainly wouldn't be in watching.
Just in case I encountered it, the idea of you having one of those, one of the two veg kind of hanging out the side of that kind of thing while you're turning, just absolutely turns my stomach. I'm not a fan of veg. Pete Corrigan says no. It doesn't count. Joe Senior says not enough material. Dave's creative metalwork can only be described as saying no.
Or do we go for a
the icons? If you can see the icons, the description I just gave you was close.
Right. I want to get that flat, so I'm just going to use a flat scraper.
Peter Kelly says he's scarred for life.
Oh, you love me, really, Pete.
Folks, so if you want to be able to get an insight into the workings of the Bluelight Tumbler's head, remember we're going to watch him on the Beard 16 show this evening. Follow the link where Scott will be giving us a tour of his workshop and to the workings of his mind. And we'll find out all sorts of things like just why does he arrange all the toothpicks on the kitchen table in alphabetical order? Now, they don't start alphabetical, but he shapes them into different letters so he can arrange them in alphabetical order. Wood Wizardry by Colin suggests you should wear a nurse's outfit. I feel we may be learning things about Wood Wizardry by Colin in that remark.
I'm up for a dare for anything.
Die Process split the difference. We're a leotard, though. To be frank, the mankini would split your difference. Although to be fair, I should say.
Alright. How flat's that? I must be crazy. Right. Okay. I reckon one last pass. That, and then we start thinking about some shape.
Dave says Scott has many dressing up outfits. Oh my!
Oh,
recatch.
Run out tool rest.
I see.
But that's not a problem because I'm about to take this corner down anyway.
Paul Cavanagh's in the chat.
Evening, Paul.
Hiya, Paul. So yeah, there's a lesson, people. If you be aware of the length of your tool rest.
I've frequently seen myself as a bit of a Frank. Frank Carson, Frank Scanner, Frankie Howard. The list goes on. Many Franks to look up to. You have 49 watching on Scott. Remember, folks, if you like what Scott's doing, give that like a bit of a hit. If you haven't already, hit subscribe and give that notification bell a little bit of a twang.
Did we get rid of
just to be going along with?
No, but we're going to bend that over anyway. Cool. What's the time, Dale?
You have it's about 8 minutes past 8 and you've got 50 people watching.
Cool, thank you. Right. So I'm going to put a bead around where the marbles are going.
So Scott doesn't lose his marbles again. One for you there, Wayne, from Paul.
Trouble with the lip at the top of the thing. You're getting lots of chip out. Can you advise?
All right.
Let me think about that one, Paul. Well, really, what you're doing at the top there, Paul, at the top of the bud vase, is you're just doing a bead.
No, I'll have to do that by hand. Right. Okay. So a marble I measured earlier is about 18 mil.
And Brian at Howard Tunnel says Frank Spencer would be near on the mark.
Oh, Becky.
And Young Die Prout says Frankie Howard as Lurkio. Genius. Up Pompeii, Young Die. Up Pompeii. Jiggy Sheds
Jigs is in.
Hiya, Jiggy.
I think Wayne is one of the few people that actually pronounces it correctly as Jigsy, whereas the rest of us kind of go Jiggy. Jiggy, Jiggy, Jiggy.
Okay. Little bowl gouge. So we're now going to start to make the little divot where the marbles are going to live. My arm's not getting in the way, is it?
No.
No, it's fine.
Cool.
Pity it got in the way of the Robert Sorby you burnt yourself on. Hashtag 4 arms for Scott.
Bum, 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 bum. I wonder. Come out.
You be careful. Yawns a thing.
Paul, are you using a spindle gouge for doing this?
You be careful. Yawns a thing.
I'm being careful. This thing is
That's
evil.
all yep. There's a longer handle on it by a million miles.
So Gerard is asking, how many marbles do you need for a game of solitaire?
One, technically, I thought.
Quite a few. Is that a beep in my ear?
Not
that
sure.
Mr.
Who are you inviting?
Mr. Page. Nope, it's not
Have a
Mr.
look.
Page. What I've done is I found a website. I think it's called Indestructibles.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
they give you all the patterns. So I've got the size that I want. This isn't going to be to one of their patterns, but I've got the size of what I want. I've just noticed I've lost the edge of that bead there, but that's not a problem. We'll pop that back in. But I know I have plenty of marbles in that bucket. So there's plenty there. As I said, next week is when we're going to... I'll be showing you the pattern that you get from them. And we'll be using that to mark it up and work out where it's going. Has that got rid of it? Yeah. Okay, so we just got to move that back in. Why did I put that bowl buster away?
Rich is saying you need 32 marbles, Scott.
There we go, 32 marbles. Cheers, Rich. I knew someone would know. Oh, I knew it was Sharpdale.
Lethal man.
I'm bleeding.
Are you?
Yeah.
Hashtag Bluelight Turner. Go for lie down. Question. Can the earworms put a link to the website if it's not too much to ask? Thank you very much. What website? Have I missed?
Instructables.
Okay.
Hang on, peeps. I was like,
Is you dripping? Yeah. On the show
I can't
tonight,
even
we'll
see
be
where it's
engaging with
coming from.
solitaire, and first aid.
I can't even see where it's coming from. Right.
Brandon Hartwood Talon suggests using Starbond, Scott.
Someone else suggested before using CA on a cut in the workshop.
Yeah, that's what it was developed for.
Definitely works. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? As a good
It's
finish.
all right unless you put the activator on it.
Oh, yes. I've made that mistake one time only.
Yes, sir.
And I didn't mean to get there. It was only because I'd clearly missed a bit when I was waiting for it to dry. I had to super glue himself shut earlier, says the Bluelight. Yeah, it's the Bluelight Tunnel, says the Beard 16. So, how are you going to put the holes in the middle?
So,
And carefully arranged with no wonky lines pattern.
that will be next week. We will put the pattern on, and then we will use a round router piece. Wayne suggested we put it in a drill press. So that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, I was saying before Scott started, you used to be able to buy a round nose drill bit. The original craft supplies used to sell it before they were taken over by Turner's Retreat. They used to sell them purely for doing this type of thing. But I've searched for them a number of times and can't find them.
I wonder if it'll be worth speaking to Jason Breach. Because Jason...
Sorry, mate. I was just going to say you could just do it with either a big blacksmith bit or a large wood turning bit. Yeah, or a large wood drill. You know what I mean? Something pretty hefty. Not the spade ends, just the,
Yeah, if you've Jason Breach does these, and he turns all the balls, and he does it out of 36 different woods.
Or a wee tiny forstner bit.
No, the thing is that you want the bottom of the hole actually domed.
Domed, yeah.
Young Andy Hill says a countersink bit.
Again, that wouldn't be domed. That would go down to a point.
It would.
You could turn them, just put it on 32 different centers.
There you go. I think that's a fantastic idea. Make it happen. Do it now!
32 different centers. Can you imagine that?
Andrew Wivey Woodshed saying Blue Nose right a bit?
Yes, that's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Blue Nose. It's 1:15, Scott. Folks, remember after this at 9 p.m. On Richard the Beard 16's channel, he's doing an unlubricated invasion of Scott's many nooks and crannies. Obviously, these are nooks and crannies in the workshop. You'll also be poking around in terms of his YouTube experiences to date and offering some insights and views in a very unique journey. Links in the chat. Give it a follow. Get it set for a reminder and check it out. It's on at 9 o'clock. That'll be 73 pence plus dispensation.
My belly.
What, growling? Or getting in the way?
Getting in the way.
You have 51 watching, Scott. Wormwood Paul says, good evening, Scott and Worms. Good evening and hello, everyone.
Evening.
Charlie Taylor's in.
Hi, Charlie.
Folks, remember, if you like what Scott's doing, hit that thumbs up and give that subscribe. If you haven't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button, give the notification bell a bit of a ring. You have a question from Gerard the French Turner. He says, Scott, your lathe is a MIDI one, yes? Do you
Yes.
find that sometimes it slows down if you take too much wood at the same time?
I've not really had that problem with this one. It slows down when my belly gets in the way. So I've found where I've moved it forward slightly, the variable speed knob gets caught in my smock.
Oh, Welsh Terry's in.
Is he?
Hiya, Terry.
Yeah.
Welsh Terry. How's Pontypridd this fine evening?
I thought he come from Pontypandy and was friends with Fireman Sam.
No, he's definitely Pontypridd.
Alright. Yeah. So, let's have a look at that. A little bit of tear out there, but we'll sand that out. So we go back to that one. Why is that so fast?
Charlie Taylor's in.
Hiya, Charlie. New name to the channel. Welcome. Swap harbours.
What are you harbouring? But
What are you harbouring on about?
Leave it out, copper.
I'm going to go for a different harbour.
He's not going to Plymouth, he's going to Pontypool. Channel sprung to life with a few things in quick succession. Benjamin says, that's looking awesome, Scott. I hear there's a problem with ash trees being attacked by a fungus. Some countries have it pretty bad.
Oh, that's been going on for years.
Yeah.
Years and years that's been going on.
Eric Winkler goes on to ask a question. I have a cherry live edge bowl and want to use walnut oil and wax for finish. What should I apply to the live edge bark, oil or sealer of some type? Question mark.
Whatever you like.
Yeah. I would oil it personally, but
young Gerard the French Tunnel is asking a question. As a question of design, would it be better to put a slight lip on the base to be able to pick it up easily? Just a thought.
yeah, you could do.
Man has a point.
What was that? That was
20 past the hour, young Scott.
right. 10 minutes. We can do this.
Ian Leonard's in.
I am.
Can I stick the link into my live tomorrow, Scott?
Yes, mate. By all means.
Lionel's in. Good evening, Lionel.
Hi, Lionel.
Eric's had a good idea. He said use 3 marbles on the base for legs.
Ooh. There's something we could do. I'll remember that for next week.
And we're just been welcomed to the up the Blue Light Turner, or Frankie Grant. Folks, coming up at the top of the hour, there's an invade on the Beard 16 channel of Scott the Blue Light Turner. Scott will, of course, be lubing up appropriately because Richard does like to make sure things go smoothly. In this particular one, he'll be invading all Scott's nooks and crannies in the workshop, and Scott will be offering us his insights on his YouTube journey and a few other parts of his life. Go check it out.
Probably going to need a few coffees after that.
57 watching now, sir.
Fantastic. Right, let's throw that down there. Beautiful. So, sand and sealer again. That's doing that. Where did I put that cloth for the Yorkshire grip? I will find out where I'm bleeding from at one point.
Bleeding from various places. I've got really fun and entertaining bruises after that stuff from a lung clot.
Oh, the fragment.
Mm-hmm. Very
Loving
fun
the
and
grain in this piece of wood.
Snigger. Ah, plumage.
I think the base is better, but hey ho. You don't know until you get into a bit of wood, do you?
That's what she said.
That's why I use one of my favourite woods. The outside's quite light and bland. Once you get underneath that sapwood and into the yellow heartwood, some really nice colours.
If you remember rightly, the holes were in triangles and they made a star shape. Says Wood Wizardry by Colin.
So the one I found, and the ones that I've seen, they're in a cross, and then you don't have a hole. You don't have a marble in the one in the middle. I'm going to be making another one, but not using marbles, which is a slightly different game, same sort of principle. But you roll a dice, which has got a colour on it, and then you have to pick a piece out, and if it's got that colour, then you collect that piece. If it hasn't, you put it back in. I ain't got a clue what it's called. The wife saw it and went, "Can you make me one of them?" Yeah. So we're just working the grit in. Letting it do its abrasive action.
Wood Wizardry by Colin goes on to say they had 60 marbles. You're at 2024, sir.
I know. I'm watching it going, a couple of minutes over won't be too bad.
Folks, remember, if you like what Scott's doing, hit that like button and give us and hit. I'll start again. If you like what Scott's doing, hit that like button and give that subscribe a bit of a clang if you aren't already. At the top of the chat, you'll find a link to buy me a coffee, where if you want to keep this man charged up and running on caffeine, you can buy him a coffee up there, and that will go to help develop in his workshop and or just keeping him awake in the long nights he's out on his job. dropped a link into the chat for the Beard 16's Invade tonight. Give it a watch. It's about Scott himself and his workshop. And the Beard 16 promises that he will go easy on him and not dig into too many of Scott's nooks and crannies. Ruben Woodcraft's in. Good evening, Ruben.
There we go. Links at the bottom of the screen. I knew I'd put it in the banner before we started.
Yeah. Okay.
Hiya, Ruben. So again, the microcrystalline wax. This will get a couple of coats of this wax. But tonight it's just going to get the one. New bear roll. Throw out the expenses.
Ruben, I think you're going to be disappointed, sir. It's a part 2 when the hardcore drilling takes place.
Yeah, that's
You're
next Thursday. Fantastic. Yeah, next Thursday will be the drilling. While I'm talking about Thursdays, thank you to Keith and for Andy that have kept you entertained while I've been on lates the last few weeks and nights. There we go.
Welsh Terry's asking, what diameter is the piece, please?
It started off at 12 inches.
Those man inches?
Yeah, we're now down to about 11.5.
You know, Welsh Terry has a bit of a size queen, so I mean, if it started out at 12 inches, better make sure he tells me the wheeler.
Right, let's take that bit off. Do that. That one. Look at that, 2 minutes to spare. So there we go, guys. I much prefer the bottom grain, but as I said, you don't know. There's part 1. As I said, next Thursday we will put the cross on, put the marbles on, and complete the project. Thank you everyone that's come in tonight for hitting the thumbs up. If you've subscribed or bought a coffee, anything like that, it's really appreciated. As Dale said, it's all going to come back into the workshop. I've got a couple more cameras I want to add. There's a new lathe to save up for, and the floor's getting a little bit. So it's all going to come back in here to improve your viewing. Going to look at more cameras around that lathe so we can get some better angles. But thank you very much for joining me. Thank you, Wayne and Dale, for being the earworms.
No problem.
Don't forget, guys, 9 o'clock, top of the hour. The link's there at the bottom of the screen. Rich the Beard 16 is going to re-invade me. He invaded me a year ago.
Don't buy him chocolates or anything.
No, a lot has gone on in that year. Some good stuff, some bad stuff, some valuable lessons learnt, and we're going to be talking about it all this evening. So hopefully you guys can learn from my mistakes or what's happened or where we can go from there. So I am going to call it a night. I need to go over, meet up with Rich. I also need to run the Hoover around because I will not. I don't want you seeing a mess. That's my OCD, but we'll deal with that. Thank you very much, and until next week, I'll see you all now.
Night, everyone.